This is Teresa Weatherspoon, better known as Teaspoon, and you're watching Real Fans, Real Talk.
Live from the can. Vibe the can.
This is Real Fans, Real Talk. Real fans, real talk. We as real as you thought. Real fans.
What's going on? Welcome to a collab edition of Real Fans, Real Talk and the Sanchez Show. Usually we have our live draft special where we go through the whole first round, but sometimes we be moving and shaking, so we can't always stay on live forever. Even though we did go live for about an hour yesterday, but we didn't get through the whole draft. Plus, it's NBA playoffs. Eric had to watch the Knicks play, had to get that dub. So it's things we got to do. But we back to recap the first round. But before we get into all that, let me introduce my co-host, my brother, Eric Sanchez, a.k.a. Legend in 2 Games. What's going on, man?
What's really good, bro? Super excited. I love the weeks that we get to record multiple times because that just lets me know that there's a lot going on in the sports world. And you and I, we got so many opinions, you know what I'm saying? It's sometimes it's needed. Shout out to all the supporters who rocked with us yesterday as we did the pregame leading up to the Knicks game as well as the draft. And as it played out, and you and I were texting, I said, we're going to have a busy day tomorrow, man. Shout out to Brandon. I already see him in the comment section.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh, man, big day for NFL fans. And Brandon, we see your comment. We're gonna definitely talk NBA. You know what? Since Brandon is here in the comments, we're gonna switch things around. We're gonna take this first question, and then we're gonna get back to the draft. All right. All right. So Brandon says, I know it's football, but give me your NBA playoff game predictions for tonight's game. Oh, you know what? Before we give our predictions, let me just give a quick update. Gilbert Arenas' son, Elijah Arenas, he is doing better. He's out of the coma. So it's gonna be a day by day type of situation, but just wanted to let you guys know he is improving, and we continue to wish him a speedy recovery.
Absolutely.
Now, with that being said, we can get to the games for tonight. Well, I'm gonna start with Milwaukee, Indiana. I'm taking Milwaukee to beat Indiana at home. I think Dame has been out long enough. He ain't been liking the back and forth. He was a little rusty in that game too. I think game 3. I think Milwaukee takes game 3 tonight. And as far as the other 2 games, obviously, I ain't picking against against LA. So I'm taking LA to win on the road tonight. That Orlando Boston one, that's the one that's a little tricky for me. Because I'm not sure. Boston's lineup been kind of day by day, so I'm not sure who's actually playing. And I do want to take Orlando in this game, so I'm just gonna say Orlando tonight.
Yeah, shout out to Terry Spain, who's rocking with us yesterday. He told us he thinks the Magic gonna bounce back tonight. And when Tatum is playing, Drew Holiday is not. He's out of the lineup tonight. I'm gonna go. Yeah, like you said, it's you get one guy back, you lose another guy. I am gonna go with Orlando, as you mentioned, just for the sake of competitiveness. I would like to see Orlando at least make it a competitive series, though I don't think they can win the series. Bucks. This is it. If they lose tonight, not only is the series over, I think it's almost the end of an era there. Giannis, Robin Lopez, Bobby Portis, those guys want to chip together. But if they lose tonight and go down 3-0, this is probably the end of their run together, and there might be some serious changes there. And unfortunately, Doc Rivers would get fired from another job that he's done a terrible job coaching. So I think Milwaukee, at least for tonight, the desperation kicks in and they find a way to win and make it a series there. And then Lakers and T-Wolves, it's a good series. I'm going to go Minnesota just because they're back home. But I do think, Trip, it's going to be a battle of who wins the three-point line. Minnesota won it in game 1, and they won their game. Lakers did a better job defending it in game 2, and they won that game. Also, it kind of rebounding is going hand-to-hand with it as well because when Minnesota did win the three-point battle in game 1, they also won the boards. On the flip side, in game 2, when the Lakers won the three-point battle, they won the boards. So I'm going to go with Minnesota just because they're back at home to take a 2-1 series lead.
Okay. Let me go. I'm gonna take Hoopball or Scoops question, and then we're gonna get over to the NFL draft. Shout out to Hoop Baller Scoop. He says, "Was that play on Ja dirty?" Well, which play you referring to?
So when Ja has the nasty fall last night, Lou Dort kind of gets under him. I don't think it was a dirty play because when you watch it again, you see Lou Dort was already kind of slipping before Ja took off, and then as Ja goes to try to elevate, he falls over Lou Dort and has the nasty fall that looks like it's going to keep him out. It's at least keeping him out of Game 4 and possibly the rest of the series. I don't think it was a dirty play at all because, like I said, Lou Dort is trying to react to get back into the play and slips a little bit, which then Ja tumbles over him. So I would call it a dirty play.
I mean, listen, they first of all they should have won that game. They was up big for most of that game, and it just little by little, they let OKC start chipping away, chipping away. And I mean, this thing it was over anyway, but they know Ja is definitely over. They don't have a prayer
Yeah.
of coming back in this series. You might as well, Eric, you got a broom back there.
Yeah, might as well get the
You might as well get the broom and start sweeping
get
because that's where this thing is going.
yeah, it's over. They're not with Ja. I don't think they could beat Oklahoma City without Ja. It ain't going past Game 4. It's over.
Basically. And then Hoopball Scoop says, I hope Anthony Edwards has that big 30-plus point game, but watch the fouls early on in this game. I mean, Ant-Man he can put up 30 as long as LA get the win. I don't care how much he put up. He can put up 50 if he want. As long as the Lakers get the win, we good. But let me all right. So let me go to Brandon Chambers' other comment here, so we can start talking about this NFL situation. When do y'all think Mr. Sanders is getting picked? I'm gonna be honest with you. If Cleveland don't take him with the first pick in the second round, I don't know. I don't know where this thing is going, man. Because whether or not the Giants picked him, you know what I'm saying, which is what I wanted. I did not see him not being drafted in the first round.
Nobody did.
I did not see that at all. So I would say I would say Cleveland because they have the first pick in the second round. So I would go Cleveland, but the only other place, I mean, if Cleveland does have the number one pick in the second round, and they have the fourth pick.
Yeah.
And unless somebody trades up for Shador, which everybody had the opportunity to get Shador yesterday if they really wanted him, you know what I mean? So I would say Cleveland takes him because they, like I said, they have the first and the fourth pick. But if not, then I could see Oakland taking him with the fifth pick. In this draft.
I was going to say the same thing. I mean, Cleveland, the pick of the first round is in right now. They haven't officially announced it yet. They just flashed across the screen that the pick is in. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't take him with the first pick because the Texans and the Titans are not taking a quarterback. So you could always take him with that next one, and you can get another guy now that you really want before he comes off the board. But the Browns with that fourth pick of the second round, Vegas with the fifth pick of the second round. You got New Orleans. That's right at the eighth pick of the second round. After that, maybe the Jets, but then it gets a little dicey. Nobody expected this trip. We talked about it yesterday. We were shocked when Vegas put out the betting odds that Pittsburgh were the favorites to draft him at 21. We talked about it yesterday. We didn't think that he would be there at 21. We thought there would have to be some sort of trade. I still don't know what happened yesterday. I've been reading a lot of the stories. I've been listening to what a lot of insiders are saying. It sounds like and then, like I said, with the first pick of the second round, the Bears went with the linebacker out of UCLA, which, again, they could very well take him with the fourth pick.
Smart move.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They have the flexibility now where you could take a guy that you really want here and then still take the quarterback later on if you want. But I'm going to need some clarity at some point from some of these NFL front office types why Shador was not taken in the first round. Shador, before the season started, was projected to be a late first, early second round pick. To the start of the college football season, Carson Beck was the number one quarterback. Shador on most boards was listed as number 3 or number 4 at the start of the college season. By the time we got to the end of the college season, Shador and Cam Ward were battling for the number 1 spot at quarterback. That was clear as day. Every draft projection over the last 3 months had Shador going somewhere in the top 5, at the latest, number 9 to New Orleans. Todd McShay was one of the most respected analytical draft guys in the business. Had Shador rated as the number 20th player overall in the draft, and he projected him to be a top 10 pick with as the second quarterback off the board. And somehow we went through the first round, and all the teams that needed quarterbacks, the Browns, the Giants, the Steelers, the Jets, the Rams, all these teams passed on him. And I still want to know why. And I'm not buying this logic or this nonsense that's being put out there that, oh, he didn't interview well. I mean, a lot of guys don't interview well. Like let's they're trying to stain his name. Oh, he didn't interview well. Oh, well, because he didn't run at the combine. A lot of guys don't run at the combine. And then news stories started to come out that certain, and I won't even get too much in depth into it because I think it's a lot of BS, but certain teams were saying they felt Deion wasn't honest in his assessment of Shador Sanders, which to me,
that's dumb because you have the game tape.
Well, not only that. I mean, listen, during the draft process, we know that it is about relationships, that NFL coaches rely on the information they get from the college coaches, right? So we understand that. But you cannot tell me as a logical thinking person, oh, you didn't believe Deion's assessment of Shador. Okay, if that's your statement, okay. Then why was Travis Hunter still drafted number 2? Because you believed his assessment about Travis Hunter, right? So, and when this draft is all said and done tomorrow, after we get through all the rounds, Colorado, Jimmy Horn Jr. is probably going to get drafted. Colorado has one other young man that could potentially be drafted. So overall, Colorado's probably going to end up with 4 guys in this draft in the league. If you believe Deion's assessment on Travis and the other guys, why wouldn't you have believed him on Shador? And aside from that, in the simplest form, as you mentioned, the game tape says it all. The game tape says it all. There's a reason why we all had Shador as a top 10 pick coming into this draft. There's a reason why most mock drafts for the last 3.5 months, 4 months said he would, if not to be the number 1 quarterback off the board, definitely number 2. And so it makes no sense at this point what's going on with Shador. But I hope that he's picked very early in the second round so we can move on from it.
But that's why I was so shocked because, all right, I understand the Giants taking Abdul Carter with the 3rd pick because he is the best player in this draft, and I'm not even mad at that. But when we get later on into the draft, and you got all these teams, you got Pittsburgh still doesn't have a quarterback, and I don't know if they trying to get Aaron Rodgers or not, whatever the case may be. We had the Rams who have an aging Matthew Stafford there who could have definitely used a backup quarterback, and again that would have been a really good situation for Shador to come into. He can learn behind Matthew Stafford, who's a very good quarterback, Super Bowl champion. You know what I'm saying? You had a couple other teams. Then you had the Giants who actually traded back into the first round and took a whole other quarterback who up until this past 2 days, Shador was the 2nd ranked quarterback on the board. Then when I checked yesterday, he's the 3rd ranked quarterback on the board. So I thought that was a bit confusing. But yeah, I hope he goes early. Because this is crazy at this point, bro. This is crazy that Shador hasn't been drafted. And I'm starting to wonder, is this some other mess that's really going on?
I believe so.
Behind the scenes. So where I'm saying, where this is some BS. And I don't know if maybe it's somebody hating on Deion. I don't know, but it ain't smelling right.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. And Trip, you and I, we've known each other for a very long time. We've had a lot of conversations on air, off air, sports. Like, I'm not big on conspiracy theories. To me, I take it is what it is. There's always a reason for whatever happens. But this is starting to feel like one of the BS type behind the scenes. Things are in play to embarrass the young man, to embarrass his family. Because when I first heard that about, they didn't believe Deion was truthful in his analysis and assessment of Shador, I'm like, first of all, that's complete and utter bullshit. Part of my language. It is what it is.
It
Because
is.
the NFL is a relationship-based business, and scouts, coaches, front office types, they're in communications with these head coaches from very early on in the season. They don't just start scouting them when the draft's about to start. They have their scouts go to their regional games, go to some of their major matchups. So they have had communications with Dion throughout the season. And that's why to me it makes no sense that what we projected for months, now somehow, like you said, as of yesterday, now somehow he's the third ranked quarterback. When did he become the third ranked quarterback? We just went through a whole combine. We went through pro days. We went through personal workouts. And it was always Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders as 1 and 2 at the quarterback position. And then the day of the draft, we hear, Vegas is claiming that the Steelers got the inside track at 21. When was Shedeur going to 21?
Yeah. That's why I'm confused.
Right.
And no disrespect to what's his name? Jackson
Dart.
The Jackson Dart. I hadn't heard his name mentioned.
Jackson Dart, over the last 2 weeks, they were starting to be growing momentum. And this is one of the things I hinted at yesterday, too. Seattle makes a trade with Tennessee, it looks like. So Seattle moved up, actually. That's what's taking place there. I don't know if they're in the market for Shedeur here. This is with the third pick of the second round. They do have Sam Darnold, but I don't know if they view maybe Shedeur as the future there. Who knows? I still think maybe the Browns of Vegas. But over the last few weeks, Jackson Dart started to move up a lot of draft people's boards. And this is one of the things I hinted at yesterday, that when we get to this time of year with prospects, we start to forget how good they are on the field, and we start to fall in love with their measurables while they're in shorts and T-shirts. How fast did he run? How many bench press reps did he do? How strong is his arm? Jackson Dart does check the boxes in those areas because Jackson Dart is a very athletic quarterback, similar to Jalen Milroe. The problem with Jackson Dart is he's nowhere near the accomplished or poised quarterback that Shedeur Sanders is. Shedeur Sanders has been a finished product in terms of his quarterback ability for the last 2 years. We've known what we're getting with Shedeur Sanders since he got to Colorado. With Jackson Dart, this is a guy who physically has started to wow people. And even with the Giants picking him, my initial reaction was, why would Joe Shane and Brian Daboll want to go with Jackson Dart when it's known Jackson Dart not only won't start this year, Jackson Dart may not start next year. Jackson Dart might be a 2-year project to get ready. And I don't know if Brian Daboll is going to have that job in 2 years. I don't know if Joe Shane, the general manager, is going to have that job in 2 years. So if I agree with you, and we talked about it off air and on air. You take Abdul Carter, I completely understand that. Abdul Carter was number 1 on most people's boards. You take him, he was that number 3. You take him, he's a game wrecker. He's a difference maker right away. You take him. But don't trade back into the first round and take a quarterback who may not be ready for 2 years. That to me makes absolutely no sense if you're the Giants. And if you take him, shout out to Terry Spain, because Terry talked about this yesterday. All right, you take Jackson Dart. Let's say the Giants are bad again and they win 4 games, 5 games, right? So are you not going to draft Arch Manning next year if he's available? So what was the point of moving up to take a project quarterback who's not going to play? Because now you're going to have that guy lingering. And if the opportunity next year comes up, that's why I say they should have either taken Shedeur or take another piece that can help your team continue to build, and then worry about the quarterback position later. But don't take a project piece at 26, knowing he may sit around for 2 years.
Yeah, they what they should have done if they was going to trade back up was draft Jahai Campbell, who I think is the best linebacker in this draft, and then really have your defense set, or at least the front 7.
Right.
But yeah, man, it's confusing. It's mind-boggling to me. Let me see, because you said there was a trade one in. Did they pick yet?
Seattle, yeah. Seattle just took the safety out of South Carolina.
Okay. So all right, well let's see what Cleveland does here. I think these 2 spots here are going to be the spots to watch, 4 and 5, because you got Cleveland and the Raiders, who both need a quarterback for the future. I might even keep an eye on New England too.
Nah, New England. Drake May is their guy.
They're gonna keep. He's the franchise quarterback.
They love Drake May. He played well last year, and you saw yesterday they went after the left tackle. They wanted to secure their O-line. I would not be surprised. New England needs pieces. So this might be a spot for them to go get a receiver. Some another piece for Drake May. Drake May is the guy there. I think Browns. I think Vegas makes a lot of sense. I've talked about it plenty of times. The connection with Tom Brady and Shador, because Shador worked under Tom Brady as a high schooler in preparation for college. Those two make the most sense. New Orleans makes sense. And if you're the Jets, I think the Jets make sense. Justin Fields is a short-term answer there. He's not going to be the long-term quarterback there. So if he falls, they're at what, the 11th pick, right?
That's the San Fran.
10th pick. 10th pick is the Jets.
Okay.
I think the Jets make a lot of sense because, again, Justin Fields is the short-term answer there. He's not the long-term. Now, one of the things that I've been hearing Mel Kiper say, and, Mel Kiper's been petitioning for Shador. He doesn't understand why Shador is still on the board, too. He's saying that there's concerns about the arm strength. If there's concerns that, hey, maybe some of these cold weather teams don't feel he can thrive in those situations, okay, then that's fair if that's your assessment. But then that doesn't excuse the Saints, because the Saints play in the dome. And Drew Brees, who never had a strong arm, put up great numbers in that dome and played very well for that organization for a long time. So why wouldn't you bring in, they don't have a quarterback. Why wouldn't you bring in your quarterback?
All right, well, Cleveland didn't take him with that 4th pick. They go Quinshon Judkins, running back at Ohio State. So now I feel like the Raiders was a team a couple of months ago that I did hear was interested in Shador. So maybe he goes 5, but if the Raiders don't take him at 5, then possibly 8 to the Saints, 10 to the Jets. How about, let me ask you this is an interesting one. How about Dallas? Eric, can't hear you.
I thought about Dallas. Obviously, his family has connections to that organization and Jerry Jones. I don't know if they want to use a 2nd-round pick on him, though, because
I don't think we go to the 3rd. That's crazy.
No, I know, but what I'm saying, I'm speaking purely in terms of Dallas, because there's a lot of money. There's a lot of money tied up in Dak, and you would think that you probably want to use your first 2-3 picks of the draft to try to continue to build up. They got the O-line yesterday, which they need desperately.
Yes.
The Cowboys need a running back, and I think in the 2nd round, the Cowboys are going to be looking at the running back position. You see Judkins come. Right. You see Judkins come off the board. The other Ohio State running back is still on the board. You got Bo Scatterbo still on the board. So there's still quality running backs on the board here that I think Dallas will look to with this 2nd-round pick, because I think Dallas is going to try to bring back a little bit more balance. Dallas also needs another receiver next to CeeDee Lamb. So I think Dallas is going to look to shore up their offense with the next couple picks.
All right, so Dallas.
I think the Rams are a really interesting spot, because if we want to talk about playing in the dome with a good offensive coordinator, the Rams, Sean McVay, you got Puka Nacua already there, you got the running back in place already there in Kyron Williams, right? And you got a great offensive mind and Sean McVay who's going to scheme it up, and it might be the perfect handoff because Matthew Stafford doesn't have much longer to play.
Yeah. So you can actually just let this thing play, run its course. Let Matthew Stafford play for the next year or so.
Right. Matthew Stafford plays the next year. Shador develops on 1 year to learn the playbook under Sean McVay, and then you hand him the keys. And we always talk about young quarterbacks having, good landing spots and good weapons. I mean, you get Puka Nacua, you get a Kyron Williams. Yeah, you get a Pro Bowl caliber running back and one of the best receivers in football, along with a really good offensive mind in Sean McVay. So I like it. The Miami Dolphins are moving up. They just traded into that spot with Vegas. They're not taking Shador, obviously.
All right, so this is getting crazy now. Yo, this is getting crazy. All right, now I'm going Saints at 8. Now hold on. You know what? Maybe Miami traded up for Shador because they're like, you know what? Tua keep getting hurt. We need to back up. Maybe they traded up for Shador. I don't know, but this is getting crazy.
Tua just got that big contract recently, and so
yeah, damn. All right, so much for that one.
Yeah, I mean, on the surface, it sounds good because if they can keep Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, and again, Shador would have pieces. The
You
weather's
got
not
Sean out there running the football.
right. The weather's not an issue. If what we're hearing is true, that some of the cold weather teams are worried about his arm strength in their environment. Miami, that doesn't become an issue. You're playing in humid 90-degree weather all the time.
But here's the thing, right? Which when someone says we're worried about his arm strength in the cold, so does that mean if a quarterback doesn't have, let's say, prime Brett Favre throwing power, then he shouldn't be drafted?
No,
Because at some point you're gonna have to play in the cold.
yeah, and I think that's why certain teams won't do it because they feel like, hey, he's not a fit for us. But like I said, every one of these situations to me doesn't make sense because Vegas plays indoors. The Saints play indoors. If that's the logic the Browns want to use, okay, I get it. Now, I've been on record though. I'm not going to be critical of the Browns for not taking him because I've been on record, and me and Will Gordon were going back and forth about this off air yesterday. I don't think the Browns want to bring a young quarterback around Deshaun Watson. I just don't think they want to do it. I know people will say, "Oh, Deshaun's hurt. He's going to be rehabbing this year." But yeah, but he's rehabbing in the facility. All the reports that came out last year were that Deshaun Watson's attitude really stunk. You saw that team gravitated towards Jameis Winston a lot more last year than they did Deshaun just because of the leadership. And there's a real possibility that the Browns just feel like, man, we don't want to bring a guy into this environment where Deshaun still has a lot of say-so. Deshaun's got a lot of money still left on his contract. They can't move on from him yet. And any young quarterback you bring around is going to have to work around Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
And so it's very possible they feel like, we don't want to do that. We don't want to have to worry about our young quarterback being around someone who may not be the best influence or who may not be the best mentor for them.
Yeah, and Miami just took the third best offensive guard in the draft, Jonah Savayanea. So they're trying to protect Tua, which they need to do because questions gonna keep adding up, and that ain't gonna be a good look.
I think one of the interesting ones that's starting to play out now is Will Johnson, because I know the injuries is the only reason that Will Johnson has fell this far. But now we're starting to get to the point where it's like, this is massive value if you can get Will Johnson right now. If the medicals are good, if you can get Will Johnson right now, I mean, that's an elite level cornerback who in most people's opinion was going to be the number one cornerback in this class. And just the injury is the only reason that he's sliding on the board now.
And they're comparing them to Trayvon Diggs. So let's see.
According again on ESPN's big board, he was the 10th ranked player overall.
Yeah. So I got another question for you, Eric. Well, I guess we'll do over under 60% chance another quarterback gets drafted before Shador.
Ooh. Well, if we're going to say another quarterback, we're only talking about one specific. We're talking Jalen Milroe. The kid from Louisville, Tyler Saug or Sauge, something like that. I apologize for mispronouncing his last name.
Mm-hmm.
He is projected to be a second or third round pick. The main knock on him is that he's a little older. He's 25 years old, and he's got a strong arm, but it's not like his intangibles or his measurables were like, wow. He's a good quarterback, smart quarterback, but he doesn't do anything that wows you. So I don't think he would go ahead of Shador because, again, I think everything Shador has done is proven that he's still the best quarterback. But Jalen Milroe could be the biggest threat to that because Jalen Milroe, we've heard all the talk that a lot of people feel with the right tutelage, he could be Jalen Hurts. And so I don't know if Pittsburgh could pass up on a Jalen Hurts type quarterback if he's still there. I'm going to say under 60% just because I still have a lot of faith that Shador goes next in terms of the quarterbacks, but it's close. I think Jalen Milroe, depending on what team we get to, if we get to that area of, what are we looking at here? After the Jets, it's slim pickings, Trip. If we get past the Saints and the Jets, The Niners ain't doing it. I don't think
That's why
Dallas doing it.
I'm worried, bro. Yeah, I don't see Dallas
Yeah,
because you know what I'm saying. Like you said, they do need pieces, and you have Dak.
yeah. Like I don't see the
So
Colts. I don't the Rams maybe, but I don't see the Cardinals. I don't see Miami. Cincinnati definitely no. I don't think Seattle just yet. Well, Seattle traded that pick, so that beat Tennessee again. Denver's not doing
yeah,
it. Tampa Bay's not doing it. Green Bay's not doing it. Chargers aren't doing it. Buffalo isn't doing it. Carolina isn't doing it. Texans. I mean, maybe we get to Detroit, but even still, Detroit is looking to add more pieces to that defense.
yeah. So I don't think they would do it.
If we
Washington
get to
has
that Jets, yeah,
Daniels.
if we get past the Jets at 10, it's going to probably require a trade up for somebody to take Shador.
It's crazy, bro. This is crazy. Like I hate this for Shador, man. I feel bad for him, but geez.
I feel terrible for him. I feel terrible for him because I just think that this is like I said, I think it's a combination. I know every team doesn't need a quarterback. Like we just highlighted a bunch of teams who don't need a quarterback. So it's and I hate that narrative too, where people are like, oh, 32 teams pass on him. No, 32 teams did pass on him because every team doesn't need him.
Yeah, so it's not. Yeah,
Yes,
that's.
there's a lot of teams who would probably say, yeah, he's a good player. He just I mean, what are we gonna do? Oh, if the Buffalo Bills are gonna bring in Shador Sanders, of course not. The Baltimore Ravens are not gonna bring in Shador Sanders. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
Like there's certain teams that just aren't gonna do it.
Kansas City. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Kansas City, Philly,
Philly,
you know, the Bears just drafted their quarterback last year. Like they're not gonna go like certain
the
teams in
Broncos.
certain situations just can't do it.
On September 12th, 2025 at 6:45 p.m.
My bad, Eric. We
That's all
talking and
good.
the computer just picked up the voice. Let me ask you this, Eric. Because you guys got the best tight end in the draft. What was your thoughts on the Colts picking up with Tyler Warren?
Excited. Excited, man. I thought we was gonna end up getting Loveland. I knew we were going after a tight end. Um I figured Warren would be the first tight end off, and then we would take Loveland out of Michigan with our pick. When he slipped, I thought it's a perfect player for us. His comparison is George Kittle. He's a nasty tight end who can block. Obviously, great as a pass catcher. I think his numbers last year speak for themselves. In a Penn State offense, which isn't known for throwing the ball a lot, he still had 1,200 yards receiving last year as a tight end.
Yeah.
This is a guy who's an impact guy, and I expect Anthony Richardson to take another step in his development. This is year 3 for Anthony Richardson. You need a tight end. Most young quarterbacks, you see they get better. Lamar Jackson with Mark Andrews. You know what I'm saying? You see young quarterbacks normally get better when they have the tight end. And some of the best best quarterbacks, they rely on their tight end. You look at Jalen Hurts with his tight ends. You look at Patrick Mahomes with his tight ends. If you're a good quarterback, you need that safety net. And I'm glad we got one now.
Mm-hmm. All right. Let me see what we got.
Or the Patriots took the other running back from Ohio State, Trayvon Henderson.
Anderson, there you go. They got their running back. Okay.
So yeah,
Right.
the Patriots low key having a good draft because they took the left tackle from LSU, who's the best tackle on the board. Now you get a running game for Drake May. I like this is the Mike Vrabel effect. When you bring in a competent head coach who knows the identity of what he wants, he's going to identify that in the draft. And like I said, you get the blindside protection for your quarterback, and now you get him a number 1 running back. And now that offense starts to look respectable now.
Yep, I agree. Bears got 2 out of the next 3 picks coming up. Who do you think they going offense or defense, or offense defense, or defense offense?
I think one of those picks would definitely be offense. They need to try to get some offensive line help. Remember Terry talked about it yesterday with just the way that Caleb was beat up last year. So you got to try to get some offensive line help. If they go defense, they got a pretty good secondary. They may try to go with some interior linemen on the defense just to help shore up their run defense. But their secondary is pretty good already. So I don't think they would go that area. I would say probably defensive line or offensive line are their 2 priorities, the next 2 picks.
Okay. And then we got the Saints right in between. So all right. So these next 4 picks, we may see Shador come off the wire. Yeah, I hope so. So you know what? As much as I wanted the Giants to draft Shador, I would love for the Jets to do it. Because
I
I
forgot.
Go ahead,
Yeah, the
Eric.
Jets. No, I was saying I forgot the Patriots got Stephon Diggs.
Oh, that's right.
Uh,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
All
so
right.
now, like I said, they get Trayvon Henderson, Stephon Diggs is their number one receiver. They still got Hunter Henry as a tight end. And then they got the left tackle. This is a good offseason. This is a good draft for them. They putting together some nice pieces around that young quarterback.
Yeah. No, that's a fact. All right, we're gonna see, man. The clock is the clock is ticking, man. Who gonna take Shador? It's like,
Somebody draft him before we get off the live, man, please.
yeah, word, because this ain't gonna be good. Because we gotta wait all the way till Monday to talk about
Please,
this.
man.
Oh my goodness, this is crazy right now. Is there anybody else that you were surprised about where they got drafted or that didn't get drafted?
Will Johnson was the one that stuck out the most, obviously.
But that one was,
Injury related, yeah.
yeah.
Looking back, let me see which one kind of surprised me a little bit. Tampa Bay, when they got a receiver, I like it because they're a little older there.
Mm-hmm.
Jalen Walker to Atlanta, I like. They need edge rushers. He helps out there.
Bad.
They need edge. Shout out to Derek Harmon, the D tackle who went to the Steelers. I know on the surface we were surprised it wasn't Shador, but I don't know if you heard about his story trip. His mother actually passed away shortly after he was announced yesterday. Yeah, he's the young man that his mom had a stroke a couple years ago and had been dealing with a lot of health issues. And they showed him with his family yesterday. Obviously, him and his dad very emotional when he got the call. And then I saw the post where he put up where he got to tell his mom, that he got drafted, and then shortly after that she had passed away. So it's a touching story, man. But I'm glad for he was able to at least fulfill some of that journey while his mom was still here with him.
Yeah, and you know what? And condolences to him and his family and friends. But you know what? She got to see that moment before she passed.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
that's something that he will always be able to take with him, use that as motivation, and now he got an angel watching over him as he starts his NFL career. You gotta love it.
Absolutely. I think one of the most surprising ones looking back probably was Matthew Golden to Green Bay. And not because I didn't think the kid is talented. I believe he had the best 40 at the combine. But first, from we love to crack jokes. For years, the Packers never drafted a receiver in the first round when Aaron Rodgers was there. And now with Jordan Love, they consistently going after offensive guys in the first round. Because remember, Christian Watson, now Matthew Golden. So they making sure they go get guys. But I was a little shocked because Aaron Rodgers punching the air right now.
Oh wait, the Bears just traded their pick. All right, hold up. Who did they just trade? Oh, okay. So the Rams is probably gonna pick Shador.
Is this the Bears moving up?
Yeah, they did. That was the trade, right? It was with the Rams just traded up.
I'm seeing it on the screen. It's showing Bears selection.
Oh, wait, they took. So wait, did they check? Okay. No, they took the wide receiver. Okay, so wait, they took Luther Burden.
They took Luther Burden right here.
Okay, so all right. Oh, maybe they I'm sorry. Maybe they traded up to that spot already. I just see the trade.
Remember, it's the Bears, Saints, Bears. The next couple. Luther Burden's a good receiver. Luther Burden should have been a first round pick. He was before the season started. He was projected to be a first, and then he didn't have a great season numbers wise. But the skills are there. You see it. He's a really good receiver. I'm shocked that the Bears are going after receiver because the Bears got a lot of offensive weapons already. Like you would think, again, you would try to show some of your old line. Remember, they drafted Roma Dunzier last year. They got DJ Moore. They just took a tight end earlier, or yesterday, I should say, and now you add another receiver to that mix. But Luther Burden is a good receiver, though.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because I think they're not bringing back Keenan Allen, so.
Yeah, but I thought one of the reasons they weren't bringing back Keenan Allen was because they wanted to go with a little bit more of a balanced offense because they had a lot of receivers. They had Keenan Allen, they had Roma Dunzier, and they had DJ Moore. They still got the tight end from Notre Dame there. and now they just brought in another tight end, and now you bring in another receiver. I guess the Bears feel like they don't need any offensive line.
Well, maybe they do have the ninth pick.
Right.
Maybe
with the
they
next
go
one.
on with that ninth pick, maybe.
Yeah.
But if not, then sheesh, I don't know what what they're gonna do, because you got to protect Caleb Williams.
You
Like
have
that's
to.
yeah. There's no way around that. Like if you want to win, you have to protect your quarterback. That's why Patrick Mahomes can win a Super Bowl with number 3 wide receivers,
I mean,
because
like I
the
said,
offense is protecting them.
all this sounds great on paper, but the guy got sacked, I believe, almost 70 times last year. So you gotta. I mean, it don't matter how many weapons you got if you can't protect the quarterback.
Yeah. I can't call it on that one, bro.
The Saints are on a board trip.
Oh boy, this is the one right here, because we got a little about 20 minutes left on the live. So I'm just hoping, but let's just get this out the way there, because I feel like the elephant in the room is what's waiting on Shador to get drafted.
Yeah, I mean, it makes too much sense. I mean, Derek Carr, they had announced a couple weeks ago he has a shoulder injury.
They playing the dome.
You got Kellen Moore as a first-time head coach and an offensive coordinator. They play in a dome. I mean, you're pretty much starting from scratch. They don't have much there. Outside of Alvin Kamara, there ain't much there. They got Chris Olave, but you don't have a quarterback. And so they've been searching for a quarterback since Drew Brees retired.
Maybe he's the QB of the future.
If it's not, and I mean, you said I'm just thinking from the standpoint too. You also said, you asked me over under 60%. It's very likely the Saints may like Jalen Milroe more for what he can do. His mobility. No, I know, but I'm just thinking from the standpoint too, like Kellen Moore, what he likes to do offensively. He likes to run the ball. He likes a lot of play action off of that. Jalen Milroe, his skill set, his ability to move with a strong arm, they may have fallen in love with him more. We're gonna see though. The pick is in. We're gonna see who it is. I'm hoping it's Shador, man, so we can end this saga.
That's what I'm saying. I want by the time we get off the air, you know what I'm saying? We all right, Shador has a home in the NFL. That's what I want. That's all I want.
If we get past this pick, man, we really hoping that the Jets do it after this pick.
Yeah, that if they can go, if they can, you know what I'm saying, get past and the Jets go up, I really do hope they take them.
Yeah, Bears. You got Bears, and then you got the Jets. Let's see, they walk.
The Bears ain't taking a quarterback, so
Bears ain't taking a quarterback.
So we know if the Saints, but I don't think they do. I think they take them. I just believe.
And in terms of talent that's on the board,
nope. Hey, jeez, holy smoke! They took Tyler. Wow.
That makes no sense. That makes no sense.
And here's the thing, right? Because sometimes we have situations where the GMs and they look at it like, well, they played in a smaller conference. They didn't play in the SEC, so they ain't been game tested. But we see so many quarterbacks get drafted from these smaller conferences where it's just like, yo, this is crazy. But
I just finished saying when we were talking, when you asked about the quarterback, and I just finished saying, this dude, he's a good quarterback. It's not to knock him, but there's nothing special about this guy that to me would say, all right,
Shador.
Yeah, that would put him above Shador. Shador is 3 years younger than him and more accomplished.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro. Nah, bro, the fix is in. I'm convinced now that the fix is in, bro.
Yeah, this is, and I hate to turn it into that, but this is there are people within the league that are trying to make a statement towards Dion and his family. That's what this looks like to me. There's no way, bro. There's no way that you can tell me this dude.
That's crazy,
bro.
Listen, and this is the same thing, with him. Same thing with Jackson. I have not heard these guys' names mentioned. And now they both picked ahead of Shador is crazy, bro.
Like I said, Jackson Dart started to make a lot of noise after the combine because he ran well, he threw well at the combine, and that's what happens. It happens to receivers too. When receivers go to the combine, they run a great 40. You start to see them move up the draft board.
You can boost your chances, or you can lower them.
Buffalo just moved up. They made the trade there. Tyler Shaw, by most draft boards, was considered the 4th or 5th quarterback in this class. And his ranking in multiple different draft boards was anywhere from 55 to 62. They took him at pick 40. ESPN had Tyler Shaw ranked at 58. CBS Sports had him at 60.
Like, y'all could have traded back and got him.
Yeah.
Wow, bro. Wow. This is crazy. I don't know. Maybe they like him because he's taller. He's 6'5". Maybe
yeah, but Shador's
I'm just trying to make something up.
But
because it's not. It's not making sense, bro.
It's not. Shador's 6'2". It's not like you're drafting a small quarterback.
Yeah, like he's 5'11", 5'10".
Yeah.
Yo, jeez, boy. This don't make no kind of sense, bro. All right, Jets. You know what? Do it. Like, let's do it for NY, man. Let's bring some action to the city. And you know what? I'm not a Jets fan, Eric. You know that. But if the Jets draft Shador, I'm rooting for the Jets. I don't care. I'm rooting for the Jets.
I hope Aaron Glenn does. As a first-time head coach, go ahead and go get Shador, man.
And I hope his career winds up being way better than Jackson's, because this is ridiculous right now. The fact that Shador is still on.
This is disrespectful. I'm sorry, man. This is fucking disrespectful, bro. There's no way you could tell me. They try to knock, and this goes to what I was saying earlier, Trip, that it's a lot of BS. They try when Shador and Dion and Travis Hunter, and that's what really pissed them off when they went to Jackson State. Remember, people try to knock Shador over. He's at an HBCU. He ain't playing against big-time competition. Mm-hmm. So then he goes to a Power 5 conference. He throws for over 4,000 yards. He throws almost 40 touchdowns. He had 39 touchdowns last year.
What are we talking about?
The issue is well, he don't have the arm strength. But meanwhile, quarterback from Louisville,
he got to have some kind of strength to 4,000.
Yeah, and no disrespect to the quarterback from Louisville, but he was a 5-year starter. He started 5 years at a school in Louisville. Louisville ain't played no big time football games.
That's what I'm saying, bro. So it's like, how do you skip over Shador?
What are you comparing it to? Like even on the NFL Network, they had Shador as the 20th ranked player on their board overall. You telling me we had pick 41 and Shador's still there, and 3 quarterbacks been taken in front of him? Come on, man. Nah, that's some bullshit right there. There's no way.
The fix is in, bro.
There's no way, bro. And like I said earlier, I know every team ain't for Shador. We get that. But the teams that need a quarterback, yeah.
All right, Jets. Y'all do the right thing, man. All right, Buffalo on the clock. Offense or defense? What do you think?
I believe there's a receiver available because they do need a receiver.
That's what I was wondering, because they definitely need some get back. You got Trey Harris is out there from Ole Miss. You got Jalen Noel.
Jalen Noel's a good slot receiver, good speed guy in the slot. He's a little smaller because he's like 5'10", 5'11", but in terms of speed and separation, he's really, really good. He could be good for them. especially with Josh Allen's ability to extend plays and run around. I'm going to say Buffalo goes defense. They still need a pass rusher. So maybe they grab the kid from Marshall, who's the edge rusher, Mike Green.
Okay. Oh, that's right, because he's still available.
Yeah, they did bring in Joey Bosa on a 1-year deal, but they that's been their number one thing. They need a pass rusher. They need a game record. So maybe he's the guy that we'll see.
And he's going to be a lot cheaper than Joey Bosa is after this season. So.
Oh yeah. Joey Bosa's on 1 year, kind of show and prove type.
You still got it. Does he still have it?
They went defensive tackle from South Carolina. Like I said, I knew they were looking for defense.
Yeah, so that makes sense. Let me ask you this: does Will Johnson fall out of the second round?
I'm looking at the next couple teams. If the medicals are that bad, he does. But I think on that second go, as we get later in the second round, Chargers especially, because Harbaugh has a relationship with Will Johnson.
Okay, yeah.
So Harbaugh, I think that'll be an interesting landing spot. I think Baltimore would be an interesting landing spot. Detroit. There's at least 3 or 4 teams on the second half of this second round, the later picks, that I think make a lot of sense.
Actually, you know what? I would love for Baltimore to draft him in the second round if he's still available, because they definitely could use some secondary help, even though they started to turn up late. But y'all can't just put everything on Kyle Hamilton.
The Jets turned in their pick quick, so they already knew who it was. We're gonna see. It could be Will Johnson. It could be now. Listen, it could be Will Johnson. Remember, Aaron Glenn was the defensive coordinator before becoming the head coach. He might want to get Will Johnson to pair him up with Sauce Gardner.
You better get you a quarterback and stop it.
I agree. But listen, let's be real though, if you comfortable with the medicals on Will Johnson and you compare him up with Sauce Gardner,
yeah, that's it.
You out of the elite secondary.
Jeez, that's true. You're right, bro.
So do I think they should go quarterback? Yeah, because again, Justin Fields isn't the long-term answer. They don't need any more pass rushes. The Jets have spent enough draft capital on pass rushes, so I don't think they go there.
Yeah.
Maybe the tight end from Miami, because they do need a tight end. That's why some people were surprised that they didn't go tight end yesterday with Tyler Warren or with Loveland. But
that's what I thought. I thought they were going to go tight end.
I thought they would too, because they passed on Brock Bowers last year too.
Right. So
they missed an opportunity the last 2 years to add a really good tight end to that mix. You already got Garrett Wilson. You already got Breece Hall. So to add a tight end to that would have been nice. So
yep. Damn.
I hope this is Shador here. The draft really gonna have us locked in tonight just to see where Shador goes, man.
Bro, we gonna go in overtime waiting on Shador to get drafted. I'm telling Eric, I don't care what you gotta do. We're not going off the air until Shador gets drafted. Unless the second round is done. Then it's like we ain't gotta play.
It's gonna turn into one of them Kasa Not streams where we sleep on the train.
You're gonna have to tell the family, listen.
Check the board. He's still there. I don't know if this is him, bro. They just showed a video of Shador in his backyard throwing the football with his brother.
Oh my goodness, this is bull. This is some bullshit, bro. Yeah. Please get the daggone quarterback. Take Shador now. Okay, let me ask you this, because we was we did the last over under. The Jets take a quarterback, not named Shador.
At this point, I'm gonna say over 60%. It might be Jalen Milroe, because I never would have thought Jackson Dart would have went ahead of Shador. But not only did Jackson Dart, Tyler Shaw went ahead of him too. Yeah,
I mean Mel on Mel's board, he's got Shador at 1 and Will Johnson at 2. So. And he's got Mike Green at 3. That's the third best player available. But
yeah,
this is sad, bro. This is really freaking sad, bro.
Yeah, man.
Oh boy, I just is unbelievable, bro. This is really unbelievable. Like how Sway? You ain't got the answers. Let's get this pick going. All right, let me see. Because now, if the Jets don't take him now, it's over. And so, that means, all right, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna go by chunks. If the Jets don't draft him, we're gonna keep this thing going to 14. All right, and then I think the latest, the latest we'll give is 16. All right, Eric, we'll stay.
This is what 10, right?
Yeah, because this is 10. The latest will be 16 because that'll give us time to see. Well, Jets obviously now, the Rams at
After
14, and the Raiders at 16.
yeah, that's right. Because the Raiders traded back with Miami.
Yeah, so let's see. We'll give it to 16. 16 is our cutoff point. That's it. I hope Shador take him though, because I mean I hope the Jets take him, but 16 we're gonna make that our cutoff. All right.
Man, if we did, I would love Shador with the Colts if we didn't have Anthony Richardson. We still trying to develop him.
Yeah, Anthony Richardson problems. He just got to stay healthy because we saw
That's
it.
it.
We saw it when
Yeah.
he was healthy, but he just keeps getting hurt, and it's like the problem with that. When you keep getting hurt, the development slows up.
Yeah.
And eventually, you keep getting hurt. It's like
he had already come in with limited playing experience from the jump because he only played 13 games at Florida.
Exactly. So it's like, all right, now
the Jets went tight end. They went Mason Taylor out of LSU.
Y'all picked the tight end. Y'all had a chance to get the best tight end in the draft
yesterday. This is why the Jets are the Jets. This is exactly why the Jets are the Jets. The Jets drafted a left tackle yesterday, and a lot of Jets fans liked it. Oh yeah, I'm like, bro, y'all know y'all drafted an O lineman in 5 out of the last 7 drafts. If you look at 5 out of the last 7 drafts, the Jets have taken an O lineman in the first round. Vera Tucker, Mekhi Becton. They took the kid last year. They took a kid this year. There's another offensive lineman I'm missing there. But 5 out of the last 7 drafts, they've taken an O-lineman in the first round. You would think that would be the best O-line in football. You invest in that many first-round picks in them.
which is crazy. But first of all, who's the GM over there? Because he need to be fired then. Because
I didn't know this was Jason Taylor's son, though.
So disrespect Jason Taylor. I'll rock with Jason Taylor, but to get the best tight end in the draft.
Right. You could have got Tyler Warren last night.
Bro, back-to-back years. Brock Bowers is going to be the best tight end in football in probably 2 years.
Yeah.
If not next year, he's going to be the best tight end in football because you got to think, Kelsey is already over the hill. Mark Andrews dealing with these injuries. I don't know if he's going to climb back up the ladder. Kittle is only going to get older. Who's the other tight ends? Brock Bowers is probably going to be the best tight end.
It's probably going to be a battle between Browers and Sam Laporta from Detroit. Those are probably going to be like the best 2 tight ends.
That's what I'm saying. So you had a chance to draft probably the kid that's going to be the best tight end in football for the next 10 years. You didn't do that. Then this year you had a chance to draft the best tight end in football and coming out of college again.
49ers go lead tackle. We expected, though. The Niners wasn't taking a quarterback anyway.
Yeah, no, we know that.
I mean, Dallas, this could be the shot pick.
All right, just Dallas surprise. Just Dallas surprises. You know what? I'm not even mad if Dallas surprises us and takes your door, bro. I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, we shouldn't be surprised because we know Jerry loves the headlines. There really isn't a quarterback a running back worth taking right now.
Yeah. So why not? If you do have the chance, and it's a legacy kid, you know what I'm saying?
It's
and
a
then
legacy kid.
It also has a chance of now you're getting Dion to come, to the league and coach. You know, Jerry like that type of stuff. You know, you call Dion.
It could be. Yeah, I think the Cowboys. I think Will Johnson might be in the mix for them right now. The picks are coming in fast. Dallas turned in their pick. Will Johnson definitely could be in the mix for them right now. But I think one of the receivers might be for Dallas too, because that was the big issue last year. They had nobody next to CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah. So maybe they take Trey. They probably if it. I think Trey Harris probably is the pick for them.
Trey Harris or the kid Jalen Joel, I believe, from Iowa.
Yeah.
Because like I said, he's good in the slot. So they could use somebody like him that they can move around. But this is crazy, man.
Who knows? Maybe Jerry Jones shocks the world, man. Let's see what you got, Jerry. Let's see if we get a little bit of respect for you, Jerry, with this pick.
I mean, you never know. He traded for Trey Lance. We didn't understand why he did that. Maybe he gets Shador. Maybe he gets Shador and say, "Look, man, Dak, you got one more year to prove it to me. And if not, Shador, man.
I'm giving the keys to Deion's son.
Right. Draft Deion's son, and maybe Deion become the head coach next year.
Basically, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. All right. Well, now we gotta wait for this daggone pick to come back in. Where we at with it? Jeez. Yeah, because after that, all right, we're gonna go to the we're gonna keep the live going until the Rams pick. Yeah. After that, I can't do it no more. I'm sorry. I gotta.
No, that's a fact.
I'm trying to hang on right now, bro. But if he don't go to the Rams, I said I can't hang on no more, man. Let me see what's going on with these NBA games in the meantime. Okay, Orlando's up right now.
I want to know. I'm interested in finding out why is Mike Green dropping so much?
Why is who?
The edge rush out of Marshall that most people have projected as a late first. Why is he dropping so much? Because I don't see anything about an injury. He had 17 sacks last year. They got his player comp similar to Will Anderson Jr., who was out of Bama. It's like I said, on most big boards, he was a mid to late first round pick. We're halfway through the second round. The guy hasn't been drafted yet.
Yeah. I don't know. All right, we doing the pick? Is the pick in yet? Dallas, who y'all?
They said the pick is in. They haven't announced it though.
Okay.
In the meantime, right?
If Dallas did take him, that would be crazy. That would definitely be crazy if they actually did take him. All right, come on, guys, let's get it together here.
Let's see what's going on now. The Bucks game is just starting, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, it's about to start now. Yeah.
And the Magic are 4.
Jason Tatum showing off 13 points, leading the way. Oh, Paolo. Okay, Paolo, I see you. 13.
Paolo's been playing well, man.
Paolo's good, man. Even though he didn't have as much hype as Zion, Paolo's what Zion should be out here doing.
Yeah. But Paolo, like I said, Paolo's been very, very good, man.
He's getting better every year.
Yeah, they're just gonna have to find a way to keep building around him because Orlando's not a sexy destination spot for free agents. So you got to draft well.
Hopefully they can do that because if not, he's gonna be out of there first chance he get, going to some other place to try to get a ring or something. Because it ain't it in Orlando. It's definitely not it. All right, Dallas. Let's see what we doing. They on the podium. Let's see. Come on, Jerry. Show us what you guys. Let's get the legacy kid up in here. Let's see. Come on. All right. Damn. All right. So they go edge. Donovan Izaraku.
From Missouri, right?
Mm-hmm. No, Boston College.
Boston College.
Yeah. Yo, man, we ain't seen none of the girlfriends this year. I ain't seen none of the girlfriends, and the mother had to kick them out.
Yeah, they've guys did a little better job with that.
You know what? I ain't even mad.
All right, Colts is on the board. Let's take Will Johnson, man.
That would be a really good pickup for y'all.
Let's take Will Johnson because that was one of the areas that we addressed all offseason. We got Charvarius Ward. Yeah, we got Ward came from San Fran, and we signed the safety for Minnesota, Cam Bynum, who led the league in turnovers last year, and takeaways, I should say. So let's go get, an explosive corner, another corner, and remake our secondary.
How far do you think Mike Green will fall?
I don't know. I'm super interested in the storyline now to see why he's fallen so far, because in a league that prioritizes getting to the quarterback, this guy can do that. He can do that. So why is he still on?
Take him?
What happened?
What about for the Colts? Because they could.
We would love to take him. We took Latu last year out of UCLA. If we can get another edge rusher, that's fine. DeForest Buckner is probably our best D lineman, but he's an interior guy. He's getting a little older. We need pass rushers.
Yeah. So that's possible as well.
I like that the picks are coming in quick. At this point, y'all done enough research. You know who's on the board. Just keep it moving.
Yeah, like, come on, man. We ain't got time for this. We only up here for sure, which is crazy, right?
At this point, we locked in just for that.
The live is only going on still because we trying to support Shador, man. But Shador, damn it, you better come on and get drafted, bro. Because I ain't got it in me to go another half hour, man.
Nah, we got after this. The Rams is next.
Yeah, we going to the Rams. And if it don't happen with the Rams, then I don't know what to tell you, man. This ain't crazy.
After the Rams, well, Jonathan Taylor's announcing a pick for us.
Okay.
It'd be crazy if he's the one who announces the Shador Sanchez.
That would be hilarious. That would be freaking hilarious if they did that. But you know what? Hey, they wouldn't. Anthony Richardson does get injured. So maybe they're like, you know what? Let's just have a backup in place, kind of similar to how RG3 the year he got drafted, and they took
Kirk.
Kirk, you know what I mean? Like a couple of rounds later. So after this be a couple of years between, but nope, they go edge JT. Wow, Mike Green's still on it. This is crazy right now. All right, but y'all got you got your edge help. You got JT Tuamalo. So. You still got that. So that's that's a pickup for you.
Yeah, that's always a priority for us. Like I said, I would have loved to take Will Johnson there though, but this is one of the things
with injuries.
Yeah, Chris Ballard has made an emphasis on trying to get edge rushers, and I get it because if you look at the way the Eagles have won recently, the Eagles have loaded up on D linemen and edge rushers, and you got to have this rotation of guys that can get to the quarterback. That's why I said yesterday too. I didn't care as somebody just watching the Giants, and like I told you, I don't care that you already had Thibodeau and Burns. Go get another guy. Yeah. The more guys you can get, the more guys you can have that can get to the quarterback, the better. Because when you look at the Eagles, how many guys they rotating in and out that lineup? You know what I'm saying? They rotating a bunch of different guys who can get to the quarterback every down.
And again, we're talking about the best player in this draft, so
right.
You can't go wrong with that. I mean, unless the best player in the draft was a quarterback and you got like a top 5 quarterback, then it's like, okay, you know what I mean? But in this situation, you go and do what you got to do. You draft the best player.
Yeah. All right. Here go the Rams, man.
Maybe the pick is in?
It says the pick is in.
All right, so maybe they take – I hope they do, man. Let them stay in the warm weather, Cali, you know what I'm saying? All right, let's do it, man. Him and Puka going forward.
The only thing that's concerning me is there hasn't been any camera shots of Shador. Everything has been
even more weird.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, but you know what? He might not have wanted that though.
The only thing I saw, like I said, they showed him real quick. He was throwing a football in the backyard with his brother. Yeah,
might be. He might be like, man, F them damn cameras, yo, bump that. Like, y'all trying to blackball me, stop me from getting drafted because y'all hating on my pops and how my family do things.
I just can't believe the kid from Louisville got drafted before him.
Yeah, bro, that's damn shame, bro.
Let's
have to get back to the damn pick, man, because
that's
crazy.
Yeah, that's the type of shit that you have no choice but to start to believe. Like, all right, come on now. You gotta believe like there's some ulterior motives there. Like, come on, bro. You telling me a guy that was never projected to go in front of him, that was never even identified in the same class of quarterback as him, gets drafted before him, and then we're talking at this point now. We're talking several slots ahead of him now.
Yeah, and it's not even like a situation where, like you said with Jackson Dart, right? where he had a great combine, and then he started to generate that buzz. I ain't heard that about this about
Nothing, bro.
so
Nothing.
what are we talking about here, yo? This is crazy, bro. Oh man, all right, come on, Rams, y'all do y'all thing, man. Do the right
Because
thing here.
yeah, either either all the intel we've been fed is a lie, or something's up because all the people in the know, all the people with inside knowledge, like I said, were projecting him to be a first round pick.
Bro, he was projected to be a top 5 pick.
Right.
up until the day of the draft. Really, he was projected to be a top 5 pick. Then it was
Bro,
Steelers might get him at 21.
all of the people in the know, NFL Network. You remember when I sent you the IG clip where he's wearing the diamond turf, the Dion diamond turf, but they in Giants colors.
Yeah.
NFL Network was running with that story, like, oh, he's already hinting at where he wants to go. Like, if it was bullshit or there was no chance of him ever landing at number 3, they would have called it right there. They'd be like, oh, wishful thinking. NFL
Yeah.
Network was reporting it like it was a real thing. Like, the Giants are going to be in play for Shador.
Bro,
How do we get to this point?
I don't know, bro. It's crazy.
I want to know. I really want to know what's going on behind the scenes. How did we get to this point that Shador is still on the board at pick 46 of the second round? And we've seen 2 quarterbacks go in front of him that were never talked like even in his class of quarterback.
I don't. Sad, bro. It's sad that he's still on the board right now. But you know what? Hey, listen, Shador, you go out there with whoever drafts, you're gonna get drafted. But whoever drafts, you go out there and ball out, man,
I
and
hope, I
make
hope he,
every team regret passing up on you. That's all you can do. Go out there and ball out, bro. That's all.
I hope he kills it at the next level. I
Yeah.
hope he goes off and plays with a massive chip on his shoulder.
Yep. I hope you get rookie of the year, all that. Whatever the case, whatever you can get, I hope you get all that. All right, let me see what they taking now. Cornerback, linebacker, QBOC.
Rams went heavy on defense last year because last year was the year they got Jared Verse and Brandon Fisk. So they went heavy on defense last year.
All right, here we go. All right, Michael Brockers. Come on, you're making this pick. Let's go. Let's do this. Get your door. Get your quarterback for the future. It's warm weather. No excuses. Oh man. This is all right. Suspense is killing me. Come on, let's go. Oh my goodness, this is crazy. This is crazy. Come on. You're doing too much talking. All right, Eric. That's it. It's over. Cause I ain't gonna be on this damn live all night. All right. Listen. Give us a final thought, Eric. I'm just all like I'm out of it now, man. Like just do my night on.
Again, shout out to Derek Harmon, the D tackle from Pittsburgh. Thoughts and prayers out to his family. It's a bittersweet moment for him as he celebrates a major accomplishment, but also mourns the loss of his mom. Shout out to Elijah Arenas and the Arenas family, as you talked about earlier. He was taken out of the medically induced coma, and he was alert. He had asked his family if anybody else was hurt in the crash. So speedy recovery to that young man. And as always, shout out to the supporters. You know, we hit y'all with a back-to-back episode, but we definitely, Hoopball, the Scoop was in here, Brandon Chambers was in here. We saw people tuning into the live. So we appreciate it as always, man, and we'll see you guys next week.
That's a fact, bro. Man, I'm just gonna say, yo, Shador, just keep your head up, bro. And like I said, when you do get drafted, ball out. Ball the F out. All right. Make sure y'all following us on all our social media, Instagram, Twitter at Real Fan Talk, Facebook.com/Real Fans Real Talk. And of course, subscribe to that YouTube channel, YouTube.com/For the Fans Productions. If you're not in New York City on Thursday nights and you can't watch on Verizon 43, from 8 to 9 p.m. It's all good. Just go to that website, realfansrealtalk.com. Click the red button on the homepage, and you can watch from anywhere in the world. And make sure you subscribe to the two best podcasts out here moving. That's the Sanchez Show podcast and the Real Fans Real Talk podcast. Stay locked in, man. We got a lot of stuff coming up. Just another reminder, June 14th, Bowling for Peace is going down. You better get them early bird tickets now.
Yeah.
While the price is still low before that thing go up. All right. Shout out to H2O. He'll be back with us soon with another one of the celebrities that will be joining us at the Bowling for Peace celebrity charity basketball game. With that being said, for myself, Trip Young, my brother, Eric Sanchez, aka Legend in 2 Games. We up out of here.
Will Johnson just went to the Cardinals.
Okay. Good one. Good pickup for them. That's good for them. All right, let's get this outro going.
This is Deion Grant from the New York Giants, Super Bowl champ, and you're watching Real Fans Real Talk.
Live from the can. Buy the can.
This is Real Fans Real Talk. Real Fans Real Talk. We as real as you.